Chris Cachone, Green Tree Financial. He's a shareholder as well as a customer.
Right.
Oh, the best people. No, awesome. Hey, nice to meet you, Chris.
Nice to meet you also. Well, let me give you a little history. So I've known John for probably 8 or 9 years, and we got this, Hope is a golden doodle. We got Hope in 2011, so she's currently about 9 years old. Around, I would say the 8 month to 1 year point, she was starting to develop a limp, and doing a lot of what they call toe tapping with the rear left leg, and she, seemed like she was in some discomfort. We took her to the vet, and he says that it looks like she just had a congenital condition of arthritis. And the treatment that was recommended was, so there were 2 options. One was a hip replacement, and another was pain medication. So we didn't think either of those were good choices for her. So she just continued to deal with it. The left hind leg was atrophied because, all the toe tapping and not using it to its full extent. So it was thinner, a little bit, the skin was saggy, whereas the right leg was very strong, right? So I think I met, I might have met you before that, John, but we didn't actually talk about the product until Hope was closer to the 2-year mark, maybe when she was around 1 year and 9 months. And we thought that maybe it would help that condition. So I think it took about 2 or 3 months for us to get the product in, to get it scheduled with a local vet. John, you referred somebody that you knew in Miami.
Dr. Fusco in Miami,
Yeah, Fusco, that's right. Yeah, so he was willing, he was very familiar with the product. I called him on the phone. He explained it to me, what the differences were compared to what was out in the market and the paint products and stuff like that. And he's like, no, this is a totally different concept. So Dr. Fusco gave her the injections, and he actually did it in both legs, just, because he took x-rays before the procedure. So he saw some arthritis developing in the other leg, probably because it was, just being used in an imbalanced way. And so after about 2 or 3 weeks, we started noticing she was putting more pressure on the left leg. I think just from not using it the normal way, it took probably closer to 2 months before things balanced out. But after 2 months, we noticed the muscle had fully developed in the left hind leg, and she was walking balanced. And then of course the right leg got a little smaller, so they were both balanced, which is what you want. So, and then from that point forward, she has not, with very limited exception, I would say the only time that I've noticed that she ever has a limp, and it's for a very short duration, it's very cold outside, and she's laying like on the tile, like where she's sleeping on the tile. Maybe she'll wake up and sort of just, it's kind of like her morning stretch until she walks around for about 2 minutes, but then she's fine. But world of difference. She's 9 years old now. She turned 9 in May. And so I guess that would put her in the senior category for her golden doodle. And, but she still jumps around, still barks at people and everything. So, runs around. So, all in all, the dog has really led a normal dog life, which is fabulous. So, I know, John, I see you every year or so. I always thank you, but definitely made a difference. And, my hope is that by going through this, that some other dog, pets are very personal, and, nobody wants to see their dog go through that. So, and this is I've owned dogs all my life. And this is the first time that an arthritic condition has ever happened that young. So it's been nice to see that we were able to do this injection early and then see her grow up, what we consider normal. So hopefully, I don't know the type of cases you're seeing. Maybe it's more, normal arthritis in a senior, but this was nice because it really gave her normal use of the leg.
Yeah, so Chris, when we were talking, we did not have a case where it was, a genetic issue. It was always just by age where we treated osteoarthritis. So you were actually the first case, but since then we have had other dogs that had birth defect issues that developed later on, and while they're still relatively young, like 3-4 years old, and we have done the injections. And similar to yours, they had a gait weight change and they started going normal, and then the muscle started building, and then it wasn't noticeable that they ever had an issue going forward. And we have another dog that's actually on a single injection been over 4 years. I think yours is like 5 years or maybe even more. Does that sound about right?
No, we did this, it's been more than 5. So we did this when she was approximately 2. So it would be
7 years? Holy
go
cow.
back and look, yeah, probably 2013. So I think we're coming up on 7 years, if not past that.
Wow.
So
Oh, it's
what are your
incredible.
recommendations?
I mean, hey, Chris, you crushed this. Honestly, I had a bunch of questions late. Like, they're obviously going to be easy. You did a great walkthrough of kind of where hope was before and where hope is now. I think you completely crushed it. The only thing I'd say, if you don't mind, maybe giving a little chat about, and you already did to a degree, what if someone's watching this and they're either a vet or even a pet owner, kind of what was your path to finally getting the injection, and what kind of would you recommend to them?
Well, I talked about it with Dr. Fusco, who, and that was important too, because I think the primary vet was part of a franchise, and they typically only use things that the whole franchise uses. And so he looked at it and he thought it was fine. I said, look, do I have any risk here? He didn't notice any risk. But being able to go to Dr. Fusco was nice. So I'd say if they could go to a local vet that is able to explain any potential negatives. Again, in our case, he said the worst thing is it just wouldn't give her any relief, but there wasn't any potential danger like there would have been in something more extreme, like a hip replacement. And of course, nobody wants to give their dog pain medication over an extended period of time either. So, and that would have just been, masking the problem. So this is really, he described it as a more sophisticated solution to what was out on the market. Like I said, that to have that kind of results, to see or be able to use the leg that quickly was miraculous to us. I've recommended, I know I don't follow up after to see who calls and who gets it, but I've given your information in that publication that you sent me. I've given that to a lot of people, a lot of horse trainers. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it's definitely, this is great for the pet world.
I'm actually looking forward to treating one of your horses, because horses have a high incidence too.
Yeah, well, they had right about 6 months ago at the barn, there was a girl and she was heartbroken about it, but the horse developed a back issue and they did have to put the horse down. And it was, I think, about a month after that. So maybe it was more than 6, maybe it was at some point last year, but it was right after that is when I saw you at that last event, and you told me you had a similar issue with another horse with a back issue, and they were also considering putting that horse down, but then they took the injection and the horse had fully recovered. So I sent all that information over the barn. They haven't had any issues since, but they went through it with the local vet, and so I'm sure they'll call you because that's we're part of a barn that does a lot. They're all show horses, so the horses, they get pushed in a variety of ways, right? So from the light jumps in the hunter category to all the way to the full scale jumpers where they're doing 5-6 foot jumps. So they definitely need some type of joint maintenance, and at times, this would provide probably some repair to like a damaged joint.
Yep. So we've been getting some really unusual animals getting injected because a vet at a zoo started using our product for sheep and goats, and then another zoo on the West Coast just injected a white Siberian tiger. So we're anxious to get a feedback on that one.
Wow, that's great. Well, let me bring any other questions? If not, I'll go find her and bring her in over here, and you guys can say hello, and she can see the company that made it possible.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, go for it.
Of course,
Oh.
you can see yeah. Let me turn around so you see the right end. But this is there you
It's a big dog. Holt's a big dog.
Yeah. She's camouflaged with the rug, but hopefully you can see her. But she's this is our Hopi.
Oh, she's beautiful. Awesome. That's great. No, honestly, Chris, thanks so much. Oh,
She's a senior now, so she's a little calmer, but she still barks at people and strangers, and she thinks she's a guard dog.
Well, that's great. It's good to see a dog at 9 still running like a puppy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you had, I know when we talked, you had situations where there were 10 and 12-year-old dogs that weren't moving around much and got the treatment, and they were running around within a few weeks. So,
Yeah, no, we've had labs that were 12 years old and not being able even to get up. And after the injection, like a week later, the owner told us the dog ran up and down the stairs like he was like 5 years younger, so those are real great stories to hear from customers, because it makes their lives more enjoyable, because they can run with their dog now instead of just watching the dog sit at the park laying down. Now the dog's just running around chasing after other dogs and squirrels.
Right. Yeah. Let me see if I can tilt it down a little bit. Yeah, she's yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, honestly, Chris, thanks so much. This was awesome, and honestly, you have a beautiful dog, so it's even better. Look,
and like I said, I'm happy to anything you guys need from us. We're happy to give you any written testimonials or anything if you need. But really appreciative of what you're doing. Love to see this in the Asian market at some point too. I was talking with a friend of mine over there. They lose a lot of pets over there to this kind of problem. There's a specific breed that develops joint issues quite a bit over there. And,
we actually had a really interesting inquiry from the Middle East for camels, because we're injecting all these other animals, and they asked about camels. So, so we're looking into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yep. Thank you, Chris.
Chris,
And
thanks so
Hope,
much.
good seeing you. Finally, nice to meet you, Hope.
Any more questions, let me know.
Perfect. Thanks so much.